Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and welcome. My name is Mohd Nafis and today I will be doing my analysis on my VOEL interview. So let's move on to why I picked the Philippines. So the Philippines, why did I choose the Philippines? So as you guys know, the Philippines is known to be an expanding circle nation by social linguists. This is important for me personally because I think that you can get a lot from the Philippines by doing an interview with them. Secondly, why I chose Philippines as my point of interest is because second, the Philippines was colonized by major colonial power such as the Spains and the Americans, thus having a lot of linguistic influence towards how they speak their English. Thirdly, is because the Philippines is ranked third in Southeast Asia to have the most proficient English speaker. So it intrigues my point of interest because the usage of English is quite widely known by all the population of the Philippines. So let's move on to the interviewee's background. So my interviewee, her name is Maggie Atienza, and her age is 46. She is born and raised in the Philippines throughout her adolescence, and she is now currently pursuing her career in Toronto, Canada, as a security IT manager. So let's move on to the speaker's reaction towards the expanding power of English in his or her respective country. Maggie explained that the Philippines is a country with rich linguistic diversity with around 175 languages spoken throughout the archipelago. Because of this, she feels a sense of pride because this linguistic diversity reflects on her nation's cultural identity. She also expressed her concerns and point of view on how English is expanding within her country. So first, she is concerned about the preservation of the country's native language. She explained to me that English is really widely used by the population in the Philippines. To be said, all societies of the Philippines, especially in Manila, use English as their main language sometimes, other than Tagalog. So she feels like that could threat the nation's native language to marginalization, thus making the native language not efficient and forgotten by her nation. She also expressed that English is very useful. She recognized English utilities on an economical state. She expressed that it is important because it engaged the population in globalization, in commerce, and especially working abroad. She also expressed the government's effort on balancing the usage of English and Tagalog in her country. And she feels like so far the government has made a good effort by making it mandatory to learn Tagalog. She also gave a reaction towards how English is also their cultural identity at some point, because the country's colonial roots are intertwined with the country's cultural identity. So moving on, let's talk about the history, development, and current progress of English language in the speaker's respective country. So Maggie explained that the Philippines' first introduction to English was in 1898 till 1946. The American used to colonize the Philippines and has used English as a primary language in their educations, governance, trade, and etc. This has left a significant imprint on the country's institutional and educational system. Maggie also explained that the current progress of English in the Philippines is vital, as it is widely used in sectors such as education, commerce, and media. She also told me that English is very useful as it has given Filipinos the chance to engage in globalization, thus giving them a chance to work abroad. For example, like Maggie herself, she's working in Canada. So let's move on to the first question that I asked Maggie. How do colloquial English speakers in your country typically incorporate loanwords from their native language? As you guys can see, Maggie has give me an example, a word that Filipinos would use in their daily conversation, which is pasalubong. It is used to describe a traditions of bringing gifts from one's travel to their loved one or to people that they hold close to. So in standard English, there is no direct translation for this practice. So she provided me an example of not how people would use it, but she has mentioned that in their daily conversation they would use pasalubong when they speak.
We have a word pasalubong. So pasalubong means you buy something for your mother when you got home, then you have something to give her.
Oh,
So,
it's like a
so
gift.
pasalubong. Yeah.
Oh,
So pasalubong, we normally, there's no specific English word for that. So normally like we could say, mix it. I have
oh,
a pasalubong for you. So it's like, I have something that I bought outside for you now.
So let's focus on another question. On question 3, how do cultural concept and norm influence the lexical choice of English speakers within her country? So this is evident because she has provided me an example, which is kilig, which directly translate to giddiness or thrill. But in an idiomatic way of expression, the word kilig is to describe the sensation of feeling excitement, or closely related to the idiom expression of having butterflies in one's stomach. So in a cultural aspect, this is how the Filipinos express themselves in a idiomatic form. So they would use this term in their daily conversation while they speak English, thus making it thus being proof that they use cultural concept and norms within their English speaking.
And also, like other words that there are no translation. We call it, I don't know, maybe you can heard this before. It's kilig.
It's
Kilig means, yeah, kilig.
Oh.
Kilig means like an excitement or
Oh.
butterflies one gets. Like it's a romantic feeling. So something like that.
Oh.
There's no, yeah,
I see.
we call it kilig.
I see. That's
Yeah.
that's a unique way to express one's feeling. Yeah.
Yes, true.
It's killing.
So it's like more, this is like common with the teens, who are, in love and like that. So they feel, okay, I'm kilig, I feel kilig, like that. So,
I see. Now, let's focus on the third question, which is what are some strategies used by English speakers within your country to express nuance that may not exist in standard English? So she mentions that English speakers in the Philippines would use a Tagalog particle, which is na, pa, naman, and a. They are frequently used in English sentences to convey specific nuances as urgency, continuation, or emphasis, just like how Malaysian would use lah, sia, or ler in their daily conversations while speaking English. She relates that she relates it with how we spoke lah and all that lah within our daily conversations, thus being evidence that this nuance is practiced within their society. I will provide example for you guys to examine.
Actually, we have this expression, we call it Tagalog particles, we could say, like the na, pa, naman, like that. So I think in Malaysia, I heard when someone, I think,
The most famous one
what do you
is,
call?
I believe, la. La.
Yeah, la,
Yeah.
la, I got la. So
Like,
it's like that. So in Philippines, we have na, pa, like
see.
that. So especially, say, when you're in southern, yeah, Luzon is like a part of mostly Tagalog, but like we'd say, pure Tagalog. So it's not, it's very, it's like there's and then there's an accent even.
I see.
So yeah, it's say let's go na, it's hot here So it's, there's always, the how you use la, then I think this is the same.
So let's move on to the justification on the issues in the speaker's respective country. So Maggie explained that in the Philippines, English has evolved from its colonial roots, thus making English crucial in education, business, media, and global interactions. The development of English is intertwined with the country's history and education policies, and also their economic activities. The effect of implementing the usage of English has also given the Filipinos the chance to work abroad, and also opening up more investment ventures from foreign countries, thus making their aspiration for global competitiveness a reality. Despite the advancement, it posed a threat towards the native language. She believes that the language policy that was upheld by the government is enough to preserve and balance the usage of English and their native language, thus maintaining their linguistic diversity, which is really important to her as it reflects on the cultural identity of a country. So that's all I wanted to discuss for this fall interview. So thank you and bye bye.
I have something that I bought outside for you now. So